this shit, let me remove this comment. You made two fucking claims. You said that I was accused of threatening to kill a judge. No, I wasn't, motherfucker. I was accused of putting up a fucking nasty website, which to this fucking day is still there. Both of them never came down. That's what the fuck I was accused of. I was accused of hacking into the Wayne County Sheriff's Department's Facebook page and basically becoming an administrator. I remember everything's an allegation. I'm not saying I did anything. I'm just telling you what they fucking said because obviously he didn't read. Remember, if he listens to the news story, they're talking about 30 pages of accusations. Maybe you should FOIA request those 30 fucking pages because they had 30 pages of what I supposedly did, and they couldn't get a fucking conviction out of nothing. And it was so badass, I never even had to go back to fucking court. There was the DA just withdrew the fucking case. That's how fucking badass it was. So, like I said, there's nowhere that you'll find any news reporter, any newspaper said I threatened to kill a judge, and nobody has ever in their life accused me of threatening to bomb a government building.
The man at the center of this case appeared before a judge, and I want to get you right to that video. This is Joseph Amico. He's accused of making terroristic threats against a Manhattan attorney who filed a racial discrimination lawsuit against Fox News. Now, Amico allegedly became enraged and repeatedly called the attorney's office, making threats. Sources close to the case tell me the threats were violent in nature, threatening the attorney and threatening to blow up the Manhattan building. The NYPD's major case squad flew out to Amico's hometown of Las Vegas. Police say there he barricaded himself in his home for hours before surrendering to police. Amico's attorney, Todd Spodek, talked to News 4, saying,
the allegations are that he's contacted the law firm and made various threats regarding that representation of a number of plaintiffs in a lawsuit against Fox News. This was a situation where a number of people all over the United States were reaching out to the law firms. Unfortunately, Mr. Amico's been singled out. I don't think any of the conduct that he has done, any of the phone calls, rise to criminal culpability. And I'm hopeful that this matter will be resolved in no time.
Amico is no stranger to police. He has a number of convictions in his past. Amico is due back before a judge here in Lower Manhattan on Monday. We're live in Lower Manhattan. I'm Mark Santia, News 4 New York.
Government building, period. Listen, if I threatened to bomb a government building, the feds would arrest me, and I would have an arrest record with the feds. That is not fucking true.
Arrested by the SWAT team in Las Vegas, the man accused of making a terrorist threat to blow up a building and of making threats against judges here. Joseph Amico is in the Wayne County Jail tonight. He is accused of threatening to kill an attorney and bomb a building in New York City. But before that, as we hear from Jane Flash, there was a warrant for his arrest right here in Wayne County.
Well, Amico was in the midst of a bitter divorce and custody battle last summer. His threats to 3 judges involved in his case and their families and children fill 30 pages.
This is important to note as we establish a pattern because Joseph Amico loves to threaten children. He's done it in the past and he's doing it now. So keep that in mind once you see the current crimes. You will see that the pattern is as clear as day.
With a lengthy arrest record and knowing he was possibly armed, Las Vegas police took no chances. Bearing down on the home of Joseph Amico, wanted for threatening to blow up a law firm and kill the attorneys inside. Yet arrest warrants filed last August sought Joseph Amico for making dozens of threats against family court judges in Wayne County. In court papers obtained by 13 WAM News, witnesses say Amico called one judge corrupt and threatened that she was going to learn, saying he would post naked pictures of her daughter on the internet. Amico allegedly created public websites to disparage another judge involved with his case and threatened he would go after his son, his baby boy. If the judge shows the slightest bit of disrespect, he will regret it. The harassing phone calls, sometimes 20 to 30 a day, peppered the phone lines of the family court offices in Wayne County. Investigators say Amico was tech savvy. He's masked his calls with a spoof app which doesn't show up on caller ID. He's also accused of corrupting the Sheriff Department Facebook page with private information of deputies, including addresses and phone numbers. Amico left the state before he could be arrested. Months later, the following April, it's alleged his anger surfaced again. Prosecutors say Amico became incensed watching a television interview with the attorneys involved in the sexual harassment lawsuit against Fox News. Again, in a series of phone calls, investigators say he threatened to shoot the attorney, harm his family, and blow up the law office on Fifth Avenue. Investigators used phone records to track Amico to his home in Las Vegas. He was taken into custody after a tense 5-hour standoff. Now, in Manhattan, Amico was charged with making terrorist threats, but he was allowed to post bail. When he returned to court on those charges Monday, Wayne County deputies were waiting to bring him back here. He now faces 7 counts of harassment here.
Joseph Amico is saying there's a bounty of $1,000 cash plus 2 MacBook Pros for videos of Frauditor Troll and their children, which, by the way, are 1- and 3-year-old. At the bottom, he's also providing what he thinks is our address and inciting people to show up to our house to harass our children. Even though doxing itself is not illegal, because of the circumstances around the doxing, this becomes a cyber stalking case. So in Nevada, cyber stalking becomes a criminal offense when the stalker uses text messages, emails, or other electronic media to harass victims to the point that they reasonably feel frightened for their safety. The offense is prosecuted as a Category C felony with a sentence of 1 to 5 years in state prison and a fine of up to $10,000. The second crime was committed during a live stream, where he threatened to show up at our kids' daycare with criminal intent. Here, take a look.
Dude, little kids, hey, this fat bitch, hey, she's got to bring her kids to daycare. I'm telling you, bitch. Fraud control, bitch. I'm on your ass. Hey, bitch. I'm telling you, hey, I got the call out to everybody out there. Anybody in the Niagara Falls area.
So here's another example of the cyber stalking that's going on, although in this case it could even fall under harassment. I'm not a lawyer, I don't pretend to be one, but this is very evident. Anyways, let's move on to the third crime. The third crime is that he threatened to get a woman gang raped, which clearly falls under the harassment criminal offenses in Nevada because it is threatening physical bodily injury. So here, take a look at the evidence.
No, she just needs to get fucking, she needs just to get a train run on her. She needs to get
What the fuck?
With a bunch of auditors and just have everybody fucking toss her fat ass up. Just pass that bitch around. You know, get your fat ass up. I'm gonna tell you, I would just talk to that bitch so nasty for what she did, and I would talk to her.
What did I do?
See, that's the thing. You think that everybody's nice. 2022, you can't hurt anybody's feelings. Now you out of your motherfucking mind. I'm still in that 80s, 90s mentality. Toss the bitch up. You know, toss it up. I'll toss her fat ass up. But when I'm done with her motherfucking fat ass, I'll pass it on to my homie. I'll be, yo, homie, finish that bitch off. When you done with her, kick her to the fucking curb. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. Well, film that bitch, and then I'll put that bitch up on my channel. I'll put that bitch right the fuck up on my channel, dude. Getting tossed up.
That's so proud.
Mm-hmm. Getting tossed up. I got it on the fucking YouTube channel. Yo, I'll live stream that shit on that nasty bitch. I'll live stream that fat ass, that fat bitch getting tossed up. Getting a train ran out of her. I should probably look like that. Shit. Chunky little ass. How many kids does she got? You can tell she has some kids. She got that fat, you know what I mean? She got that fat. It's just like, Yeah. In 20 years, she'll be back in prison. Like, babe, but just think of all the fucking damage I'm gonna do until then. Just think about that, man. Straight tossed up. That's right. Toss it up. And I'm sure you guys know what that means. Think of that Tupac song, Toss It Up. I'll play that shit in the background. In KC JoJo.
So that was a minute and a half of Amico threatening to gang rape a woman and put it on YouTube. So I hope everybody understands why we must make sure that this guy gets permanently removed from the internet, because that is where he's doing his crimes at the moment. Moving on to crime number 4, we have extortion. Here's the picture of a letter he's going to send to a woman requesting $150,000 in order to avoid legal actions. So this is clearly extortion because the woman has nothing to do with any of this. The 5th crime also falls under harassment for threatening to cause bodily harm. He says here, my peeps are looking to beat Jonathan's ass, so he's threatening to have people beat up a person called Jonathan, which falls under harassment. So now we're going to move on to crime number 6. So crime number 6 is another case of cyber stalking under the Nevada law. There will be complete doxing on redacted name tomorrow morning. This will include complete address, employment, phone, email, social media site. So for crime number 7, Joseph Amico hired someone to go to another YouTuber's apartment and confront him. So that clearly falls under harassment or cyber stalking. I'm not sure which one. So the way how Joseph Amico gets away with this is he commits all his crimes during live streams and then he deletes the evidence. However, many people have been screen recording the evidence of his crimes. Another thing that he uses is community posts to reveal people's information. And although doxing is not illegal, doxing with criminal intent falls under cyber stalking. So you must help us by signing the petition to keep this dangerous criminal off YouTube and off other social media as well, because that's what he uses to commit his internet crime of cyber stalking and harassment. So what we intend to do is once we have about 20,000 signatures, we will present YouTube and other social media platforms with the evidence to make sure that none of them harbor this dangerous criminal anymore.